You're living in the US. Rent has gone up 40%. Healthcare costs 3 times more. And your pension hasn't increased by a single cent. But what almost no one tells you is, there are countries willing to pay you just to retire there. Not fantasy, but real money. Up to $30,000, taxes only 7%, and healthcare 70% cheaper. And the remarkable thing is, these programs are open right now, but most Americans still don't know. Where can you get paid to live slowly, eat well, and breathe freely? Watch until the end of this video, because the answer could change your entire retirement. Dream it. Pack it. Go. Dia 5. Ecuador, where your pension blossoms among the clouds of the Andes. They say there are 2 kinds of retirement. One where you count every dollar, and one where you watch the clouds without counting anything at all. In Ecuador, strangely enough, you can do both. Every morning, sunlight pours down over the red rooftops of Cuenca like warm honey. Birds sing on the balcony, and somewhere across the street, an American neighbor is grinning because his electric bill just got cut in half. That's right. Here, old age doesn't make you poorer. It makes your bills smaller. Ecuador is one of the few countries that has turned respect for the elderly into law. From the age of 65 and up, whether you are a local or a foreigner with legal residency, you receive a 50% discount on bus tickets, flights, movie tickets, and even utilities. It's not a promotional benefit, but a constitutional right. It feels as if the government is telling you, thank you for living long enough to enjoy this life. And if you think that's just a few spare dollars, imagine adding it up over a year, enough for several more vacations. Cost of living? Many people visiting Cuenca for the first time all ask the same question. How can it be this cheap and still this clean? A couple can live comfortably here on $1,500 a month, with a 2-bedroom home, housekeeper, stable internet, fresh groceries, and sometimes even extra to travel around the Andes. The food is delicious. Produce is almost free. Avocados as big as your fist. Mangoes sweet as candy. Fish so fresh it still shines in the morning light. You'll laugh when you realize many people living in Ecuador feel there's no need to bring a scale back to the US, because here both your weight and your bills tend to go down. What makes Ecuador special isn't just money. It's the peace you can actually feel. In Cuenca, people still greet each other on the street every morning. In Loja, there are cafes without Wi-Fi, because they believe real connection matters more. And in Vilcabamba, known as the Valley of Longevity, 90-year-olds still ride their bikes to the market as usual. Here, time seems to move slower, so you can live more deeply and love life more. Ecuador's retirement visa, called jubilado, is easier than you think. You only need to show proof of a stable pension from abroad, submit your paperwork, and after a few weeks, you can settle down long-term. After 2 years, you qualify for permanent residency. Everything is clear, legal, and doesn't require investment or home purchase. No special programs, no hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just a genuine desire to live here. Some people joke, in Ecuador you don't buy the dream, you just move there and start living in it. The healthcare system is also a big plus. You can join the public IESS insurance at an affordable cost for almost free medical treatment, or choose private insurance with international standard hospitals in Quito or Cuenca. The cost of checkups, tests, and medicine here is so low that one trip to the dentist costs less than a dinner in New York. And what's even more valuable, doctors here still look you in the eye, still talk to you as if you were family. Of course, there's no such thing as a perfect paradise. Ecuador still has a few wrinkles you should know before packing your bags. Language is the first barrier. English isn't widely spoken outside major cities, so sometimes you'll have to summon Google Translate just to buy cold medicine. And South American bureaucracy moves slower than it takes to brew a cup of coffee, sometimes requiring a few extra papers for system reasons. But on the other hand, Ecuadorians have a superpower many places have lost. They're patient, polite, and always smiling. Whenever you're confused about paperwork, there's always someone willing to guide you or help translate a few lines. Someone once said, If America makes you age faster from worry, then Ecuador makes you young again because there's nothing to worry about. Here, fears of bills, hospitals, harsh weather, or hurried glances all melt away under the gentle sun. You can live sufficiently, or live truly, depending on how you choose. And who knows, on a clear morning high in the Andes, as you sip your coffee and watch the clouds drift across the old red rooftops, you might realize, maybe happiness doesn't need to be found. It's already found you. If you feel your heart skip a beat for Ecuador, drop a like, share this with a friend who needs a new beginning, and leave a comment. Where would you relive your 60s? Who knows, your next chapter might begin right here, among the winds of the Andes, where pensions turn into peaceful mornings. 4. Greece, where 7% tax buys you 100% peace. In July 2020, while the world was still reeling after the pandemic, the Greek government made a decision that left the financial world holding its breath. Foreign retirees who transfer their tax residency to Greece would pay a flat 7% tax on all foreign income for 15 years. No investment required, no need to buy property, no nationality restrictions. You just need to be truly retired. It wasn't a PR stunt, but a policy passed by the Greek Parliament, Law 474/2020, aiming to attract experienced seniors with stable incomes to enjoy their golden years in the land of the sun. Since then, Greece has become Europe's quietly hottest retirement destination. Not loud like Portugal or Spain, Greece calmly invites you into a slower but fuller way of living. And the best part is, you can still live like a true European while spending only about 40% of what you would in the US. An American couple can live comfortably in Greece on $100 to $800 to $2,400 a month, including rent for a bright apartment near the sea, healthy Mediterranean meals, and a few ferry trips to the islands. In Athens, costs are slightly higher, but in seaside towns like Kalamata, Nafplio, Patras, or Chania, Crete, you'll be pleasantly surprised to find your retirement budget stretching further. A delicious dinner of grilled fish, Greek salad, warm bread, and local wine costs only about $12–15 per person, and espresso coffee here still holds its humble price, 1 to 2s. The climate is Greece's timeless gift. Warm winters, dry summers, and more than 250 days of sunshine each year. If you ever thought peace was just an abstract concept, here it takes on a very real shape. Gentle sunlight filtering through grapevines, church bells ringing at noon, and locals greeting you with a smile and the word kalimera. Good morning. Greek cuisine is the art of turning simplicity into sophistication. Every dish revolves around olive oil, feta cheese, fresh vegetables, and seafood, just like the famous Mediterranean diet that helps people live long and stay healthy. On the island of Crete, many elders still walk 3 kilometers a day, even past the age of 90, and you'll find yourself eating more, yet feeling lighter. In terms of healthcare, Greece has a public health system called ESY, Ethniko Sistema Ygeias, open to foreign residents with long-term visas. Many doctors trained in the UK, Germany, or the US speak good English and have a warm, approachable style. If you want higher quality, you can get private insurance for as little as $120 per month, giving you access to EU-standard private hospitals in Athens or Thessaloniki. Medical checkups, medicine, and dental care here usually cost 60–70% less than in the US. Greece's retirement visa is also surprisingly simple. You can apply for the non-dom tax residency visa for retirees. Just show proof of a stable pension income, usually over $2,000 per month for one person, or $2,500–$3,000 for a couple. Applications are processed within a few weeks, and you can apply for long-term residency after 5 years. No investment required, no need to buy property. The government simply wants you to bring what they value most: legal income and the steady rhythm of a slow, peaceful life. And what about transportation? It's exactly European, but prettier. The intercity bus routes are modern, the Athens metro is clean, and the ferry network connecting hundreds of Aegean islands is part of Greece's soul. You can travel from the mainland to Santorini, Mykonos, or Naxos in just a few hours, with tickets under €40. Each trip feels like a mini cruise, where time doesn't pass, it melts. The expat community in Greece is growing fast, especially American and British retirees. In Crete or Rhodes, there are even clubs for foreigners that organize Sunday potlucks, food-sharing parties every weekend. And the interesting thing is, Greeks are incredibly friendly, hospitable, love to chat, and love to help. You can walk into a small cafe just for a coffee and end up being offered dessert and conversation until evening. Of course, nowhere is absolutely perfect. Greece still has 2 small challenges retirees should know about. First is slow and complicated bureaucracy. Paperwork, taxes, and residence registration can take longer than you expect, or maybe just one glass of wine to make the wait more pleasant. Second, the healthcare infrastructure on smaller islands is still limited, so if you have chronic conditions, it's better to live near major cities or get international insurance for peace of mind. But all that becomes insignificant when you stand on a balcony overlooking the Aegean Sea, where the sunset blends orange, pink, and purple like an ancient painting of the god Apollo. There, you suddenly realize everything, from long years of hard work to bills and deadlines, all dissolve like salt in water. Maybe happiness isn't about having a lot, but about living in a place that makes you feel enough. And somehow, Greece teaches you that art of enough every day. If you could keep 93% of your retirement income and in return trade it for Mediterranean sunshine, gentle waves, and dinners with red wine, would you do it? If you too are looking for a place to live slowly, live well, and live again, like this video, subscribe, and comment. Where will I start over? Who knows? Your next trip might just be the beginning of a new life. 3. Italy. When Italy pays you to slow down. In June 2024, while Europe was struggling with skyrocketing housing prices, the small-town government of Residency Aquarica in southern Italy made social media explode with this announcement. We will pay up to $30,000 to anyone willing to move here, buy an old house, and start life over. Not a joke, not an ad. It's a real rural revival program, funded by the regional government of Puglia. And the funny thing is, just a few days later, the mayor's office received more than 8,000 emails from the US, Canada, and the UK, most of them from retirees. Perhaps because in the land of wine, cheese, and Vespas, getting paid to slow down sounds too good to be true. But it's completely real. In Presic and similar villages across Calabria, Sardinia, and Sicily, You can buy an old house for as little as $1 to $25,000, receive financial aid for renovation, and then enjoy reduced retirement taxes under the Special Incentive Program for new Southern residents. The Italian government calls it a strategy to save the rural soul, while Americans jokingly call it the Italian retirement stimulus. In many parts of the South, where life still moves at the rhythm of the last century, you'll find something New York or Los Angeles lost long ago. Silence that still has birds in it. Living in Italy, you don't just buy a house. You buy a rhythm of life. Morning church bells, pasta at noon cooked by your neighbor, espresso in the afternoon, and evening conversations with locals in the stone-paved square. Everything here seems slow, but that's exactly what retirees love. A place where you no longer have to run to catch up with life, because life is already sitting there waiting for you in the cafe. And the best part is, Italy truly wants you to come. The government has passed the flat tax regime, allowing foreign retirees to pay a fixed 7% tax on all foreign income for 9 years, especially if you settle in the South, Calabria, Sicily, Puglia, Basilicata, Sardinia. You don't need EU citizenship, no investment required. You just need to show a stable pension income. Italy's retirement visa, the elective residency visa, is quite friendly. You only need an income of about $2,600 to $3,000 per month for a couple, and you can apply for long-term residency and even a path to Italian citizenship after 10 years. The cost of living, though it varies by region, is still very reasonable if you avoid central Rome or Milan. A couple can live comfortably in the South with $1,800 to $2,300 per month, a spacious old apartment, wine cheaper than water, and vegetables from the local market so fresh you'll find yourself eating more but feeling healthier. Here, meals aren't just for fullness. They're rituals of connection, sharing, and laughter. The public healthcare system, Servizio Sanitario Nazionale, meets European standards, with costs at just a quarter of those in the U.S. Modern hospitals, are available in most provinces, and many doctors speak English, especially in areas with expat communities. You can purchase private insurance from $80, $100, and $150 per month, giving you both freedom of choice and the ability to skip waiting lines. Italians don't see old age as a burden. They see it as the best part of life. In small villages, you'll see silver-haired grandpas driving their wives on Vespas, singing along the way. In the square, generations young and old drink wine together, watch football, and laugh out loud. Youthfulness in Italy isn't in the number of years, but in the way they say, "one more glass," with a smile. Of course, the Italian dream isn't absolutely perfect. If you choose to buy a €1 house, be ready for a paperwork and renovation journey as long as a Fellini movie. Everything in Italy has its own way, and the administrative pace may teach you a new virtue: patience. Second, the countryside can be a bit cold and humid in winter. If you're used to living in Florida or Arizona, you'll need some extra sweaters and a bit of red wine to get used to it. But then, when you step out to the terrace, watch the sunset spill over the red-tiled roofs, hear the distant church bells, and smell the pizza baking in the air, you'll understand why people call Italy the country that makes you fall in love with life all over again. Here, the government may pay you to move in, but the real gift isn't in the euros. It's in how every day in Italy makes you feel alive again, not just existing. If a small Italian town sent you $30,000 and said, "Come here, bring your laughter with you," would you go? Comment your answer, because who knows, your new home might be waiting right there in Puglia, where the coffee is strong, the wine is cheap, and life begins again after retirement. Yes, too. Portugal, where those who were once tired learned to breathe again. In the suburbs of Seattle, 67-year-old Robert Hayes once said a sentence that left people silent. "After 40 years of working, I still have to choose between medicine and dinner, a 2,400 pension, but insurance, taxes, and utilities had eaten almost all of it." A friend suggested, "Try Portugal. They don't just help you live cheaper, they help you live again." 3 months later, Robert was sitting in Lisbon, sipping a $1 coffee, watching the sunlit Tagus River and smiling. Here, even breathing is free. Portugal isn't loud. It simply opens up a way of life that can make old age the most meaningful chapter of all. The government once surprised all of Europe with its NHR program, allowing foreigners to pay only 10% tax on retirement income for 10 years. Along with that, the D7 visa for those with stable passive income, like a pension, is surprisingly simple. Only about $1,400 per month, and after 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. A couple living in Coimbra or Braga spends only about $800 per month, with a nice home, fresh food, fast internet, and more sunshine than they ever saw in the US. A seafood dinner with wine for two costs around $20. No one is in a rush. No one complains. Here, they believe to go far, go slow, and foreigners learn to live again from that saying. Healthcare is what makes Robert feel most at ease. Private insurance costs only $160 per month, hospitals are modern, and doctors speak English. In the US, he once paid $400 just for a general checkup. Here, after the diagnosis, the doctor smiled and said, "You should drink some wine from the Minho region. It's good for your heart." In Portugal, people treat illness with medicine, but they cure loneliness with kindness. Safety is a given. This country always ranks among the top 10 most peaceful in the world. The locals are friendly, and the expat community in Algarve keeps growing. At sunset, they go to the beach, drink wine, tell life stories. No one talks about money anymore, because no one worries about money anymore. Of course, any new life comes with its challenges. The bureaucracy here moves as slowly as the sea breeze. A cafe might open 10 minutes late, but the owner is smiling and chatting with a neighbor. And then you realize they're not late. They're just living on their own time. One afternoon, when asked if he would return to America, Robert laughed. "I used to retire because I couldn't keep working. Now I live because I can't keep being unhappy." Maybe that's what Portugal truly gives you. A place to live slowly, to live well, and to live again. Every country in this series is a reminder that retirement isn't the end. It's the first chapter of freedom. Hit like, subscribe, and let the notification bell lead you to the next journey. Because this world still has many places waiting for you to live happier. 1. Philippines, where laughter is louder than the waves. On a blazing March afternoon at a beach in Cebu, 70-year-old Bill from Chicago was practicing a new habit, learning how to sit still. He had never been able to before. In America, he used to calculate every bill, every pill, every pension dollar. Here, he only counts whether to have coffee or a cold coconut first. "It's strange," he said. "For the first time in my life, I'm not worried about money. I'm concerned with peace." The Philippines doesn't promise luxury. It promises warmth. The government actively welcomes retirees through the SRRV, Special Resident Retiree Visa program, one of the most foreign-friendly policies in Asia. Foreigners only need a small deposit and are exempt from taxes on pension income, get discounts on healthcare and airfare, and enjoy lifetime multiple entry access. With a cost of living that's almost unbelievable, about $1,200 per month for two people. You can rent a spacious house, eat well, have fast internet, and still have enough left to explore a new island every weekend. Healthcare here is surprisingly good. Many doctors studied in the US, speak fluent English, and private hospitals in Cebu and Manila are so attentive that you might feel a little embarrassed being cared for that well. Private insurance for foreigners costs only $80, $120 per month. The expat community is close-knit, and neighbors, even those with less, are always willing to share. Of course, not everything is perfect. Electricity can flicker, traffic is chaotic, and if you live on a small island, imported goods can take a few days longer to arrive. But when you see kids running on the sand and hear a street vendor cheerfully say, "Good morning, sir," in the rain, you realize Filipinos have a gift for turning everything into joy. Here, people don't ask how much money you have. They ask if you've eaten. And maybe that's why thousands of Americans have chosen the Philippines as the place to end their work and begin their life again. Perhaps retirement isn't the finish line people think it is. It's simply the moment when you get to choose again. Choose your pace, choose peace, choose yourself. Somewhere between the Andes Mountains, along the Aegean coast, in an old alley in Puglia, or a small cafe by the Tagus River, there are people who once struggled between fear and bills, now smiling as they count peaceful mornings. This world still has places that don't force you to grow old in a hurry, but teach you how to slow down, love life more, and believe that happiness is still in time. If one day you feel tired of the old grind, remember, you don't need to be rich to start over. You just need enough courage to leave. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment which country you want me to tell next. Who knows, your journey to rediscover freedom might begin with the very next story.